Hi everyone, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us for our Thursday weather video brought to you by Country TV on Sky Channel 081. We've got a blustery nor'easter blowing in across the country, the same system that affected Australia the other day, but it's weakening quite a bit here in New Zealand. We've got blustery winds from the northeast coming in across both islands. Now some of them could reach gale for a time, but mostly below the damaging threshold, although I might point out that in places like Auckland, the nor'easter feels much stronger than the prevailing southwester. So when you get a nor'easter blowing through, even at the same strength as a sou'wester that normally causes no issues, you can get power cuts. The trees, the branches break a bit more. So we might see a few isolated power cuts here and there around the north of the country, and maybe through the inland areas of the South Island. Generally speaking though, the winds are just below damaging, and the downpours, some of them are very heavy on the west coast, isolated ones up here in the north. A lot of the heaviest rain is actually out at sea. The last thing I'll mention about the nor'easter, the big swells coming in from it. We obviously saw what happened in Sydney. They've eased a fair bit since they were over on the eastern side of Australia, but we are still seeing swells of 5, maybe 6 metres coming in around the eastern side of the upper North Island. Northland, Northern Auckland, Great Barrier Island, Coromandel, Bay of Plenty, East Cape over the next sort of day or so. That's just very big waves coming in as well as those big swells. So that's the main nor'easter. It actually fades away quite a lot. It's all on the back edge of that big high, our big Queen's Birthday weekend high, which is moving away now. And so the change on Friday is back to autumn. We're back to the windy westerlies for the next couple of weeks. So here it is. Big heavy downpours moving up the west coast into Nelson, into the Taranaki region later, and then that same front reaches Waikato and Auckland at night time. Weakening quite a bit though as it does so. Eastern areas, you're mainly dry, but you might get a few spillover spits in the Canterbury foothills thanks to that west coast rain. And we end here on Saturday where we've got actually a clearance in the north, maybe 1 or 2 early showers before dawn, and then it's mostly dry over the North Island, and the nor'westers come back to the South Island, so it's dry and warm on the east coast, but some wet weather comes back to the west coast there. And just before I go, I did mention about the change coming through back to the windy westerlies. This is it, and it really is for the next couple of weeks. A lot of westerlies for the South Island and a lot of high pressure for Australia, which comes through and clips the north of New Zealand with mostly settled weather and a lot of westerlies further south. That encourages wetter weather in the west coast, drier weather on the east coast, and warmer than average conditions generally speaking. That's the next week and a half coming up. Don't forget, for the 10-day forecast where we cover all of that, go to Sky Channel 081 for Country TV or visit countrytv.co.nz.